Hi, Radical Readers. So this week we are going to dig into problem and solution. This is a skill that we did way back in the beginning of the year. So it is very important that we're paying attention and using all the strategies that Mrs. Harp teaches you so that you can be successful with this text structure. So what is problem and solution? Well, sometimes an author will want to explain a problem and then show one or more solutions. So we know what a problem is, right? It's a conflict, it's an issue. Normally, it's found at the beginning of a story. And then solution is just that fancy word for how the problem is fixed. Okay. So here is an example of a problem and solution. I'm going to read you this passage. I want you to see if you can identify the problem first. We always want to find the problem first. That's going to help us find the fix or the solution in the passage, okay? So as I'm reading, you can read along and you're thinking about that conflict, that problem. Heavy rains can cause flooding in small streams. For weather forecasters and local authorities, this flooding can be difficult to predict. Fortunately, the United States Geological Survey has more than 7,000 stream gauges that measure water flow. These stream gauges help scientists to monitor water levels in good and bad weather. All right, were you able to find the problem? Take a minute and see if you can find it. So if this was in front of us, this would be something that we could be underlining and writing a P next to. And we'll practice that together soon. All right, hopefully you have a problem in your mind. Let's see if you were able to identify it. Let's see. Flooding can be difficult to predict. Is that what you found? Hopefully. If not, let's keep practicing. So if our problem is flooding can be difficult to predict, which means we don't know when it's going to happen, what's the solution? How are they trying to fix that problem? What do you think? All right, let's see if you found it. Right here, the United States Geological Survey uses those stream gauges that measure the water flow. So the problem is they can't predict the flooding. The solution is that they use those stream gauges to help monitor the water level. If you got it right, kiss your brain and do the whoop whoop. All right, let's keep practicing. So let's talk about this. Often, authors will signal problems and solution structures with clue words. So we want to look for that clue word. And a lot of times, they're going to just say problem or solution, okay? So let's see if we can identify the next one. They actually gave us some more clue words, sorry. Synonyms for problem include difficulty, struggle, uncertainty, worry, threat, and trouble. So all those negative words, because problem is kind of negative, right? The solution is the positive part. So let's see our synonyms for solution. Include possibility, hope, bright spot, answer, and future. All right, now on to practicing some more, I promise. Can you find the problem and the solution? Let's see, are you ready? Problem first, look for those clue words. Brown marmorated stink bugs have caused many problems since they were accidentally introduced to North America. They damage fruit, bother people, and harm crops. Scientists are trying to find a solution. One promising possibility is a species of wasps that originally comes from Asia. This wasp is a predator of stink bugs. Scientists hope that this wasp could solve the stink bug problem. I am seeing those key words. Are you? All right, so right here I see problem, but if I just look at this, brown marmorated stink bugs have caused many problems. What is the problem? So we know who caused it, this little guy right here, but what's the problem? What does the brown marmorated stink bug, what problem do they cause in North America? What's the problem? See if you can identify it. All right, you should have an idea in your head of what these troublemakers, what problems they're causing. Let's see if you're right. They damage the fruit, bother people, and harm crops. Were you able to find it? Yes, give me a high five. All right, so now we found the problem. We want to find the fix. We want to find the solution. Remember, solution is that positive thing that's going to fix it. I'm seeing some positive words jumping out at me. Are you? Can you find it? One promising possibility. So that right away signals my brain that to keep reading because that's probably going to be the solution. Do you agree? All right, so what is the solution to these brown marmorated stink bugs damaging all the fruit, bothering people, and harming crops? How are they going to fix that problem? See if you can find it. All right, you should have been able to identify it by now. Let's see if you're right. The wasps, right? Because they're predators. Do you know what that means? They are going to kill and probably eat the stink bug. So the problem is the stink bug destroying crops. The solution is the wasps. And they come from Asia. Pretty interesting. Okay, that is the end of that, my friends. So hopefully now you're a little bit more familiar with problem and solution. It's kind of come back in your brain because I know it was probably hibernating in there because you have not done that skill in a long time. Okay, you should have, and I know you can't see it very good right now, but you should have been able to print out this problem and solution worksheet. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you while you get that ready. All right, so just a little review. We know the problem is the conflict, okay? And there's two different kinds of text, right? The ones we read on our PowerPoint were what? They were nonfiction. So it's not going to be conflicts between two characters, but it's a conflict that's happening in the story, right? Something, a real life problem. But now we're going to move over, and most of the rest of the week we will practice with fiction stories where the conflict is going to be between two or more characters. Okay? A character in nature or a character and him or herself. So an inner problem that they've encountered. Okay, and then this is so important. I mentioned that it's usually found at the beginning of the story. Okay, so then we have the solution, and we know that that's the way the problem is solved. And that's normally found at the, you guessed it, the end. Okay, so we have three passages, 1, 2, and 3. We're going to work together on 1 and 2. We're going to identify the problem and the solution, but then I'm going to send you off on your own to work on box number 3. That will be your discussion post. You will have to tell me the problem and the solution, okay? So let's practice. I'm going to really help you with number 1. I'm going to give you more responsibility on number 2. And then on number 3, I'm giving you all the responsibility. So let's see if you are ready to be a problem and solution hunter. All right. a package at the door. On Friday afternoon, the doorbell rang. Econ ran to the front door to see if his package arrived. He was so excited that he threw the door open. He didn't even think about his dog, Rex. Rex darted out the door. He was down the street in a blink of an eye. Luckily, the mailman noticed the pup as he sprinted past him. The mailman chased after Rex, grabbed his collar, and walked him back to Econ. Whew, that was close. Luckily, I have not had that problem with Gus, my new puppy, yet, but I could see how that could be a problem. Were you able to identify the problem? What was something negative that happened? Take a minute and see if you can underline it. Well, it was when what? When his dog ran out the door. So we're going to underline that and we're going to put a little P next to that, okay? So what's the problem? We're always writing in complete sentences. The problem is Rex ran out the door, or ran outside, right? So then I see a positive word that helped my brain know that to keep reading, and I was going to find the solution. Do you know what that positive word was? Box it. Luckily. So the problem is the dog Rex ran out the door. What was the solution? Well, let's keep reading. Luckily, the mailman noticed the pup as he sprinted past him. The mailman chased after Rex, grabbed his collar, and walked him back to Econ. That is our what? Solution. Okay, so remember, we don't have to copy word for word. We can write it in our own words, and I actually like that better. Okay, so what was the solution? The solution was, who helped solve the problem? The mailman. The mailman what? Grabbed the dog, or grabbed Rex, and brought him to Econ. Okay, see how we did that? All right, I'm gonna read you box number 2, but I'm gonna give you more responsibility. Do you think you can handle it? I think you can too. All right, basketball blues. As I'm reading, you are going to find that problem and you're gonna underline it. As I'm reading, you're going to find that what? Solution and underline it. All right, are you ready? And these characters have some interesting names. We're gonna call them Daichi. Daichi and Marley took turns at the hoop, practicing their free throws. Usually, Daichi sunk his free throw shots with no trouble, but something was off today. He had not made a single shot. Marley was on fire, though. He made every single free throw shot from the line. Coach Yang noticed and came to talk to Daichi. If you adjust your feet, he said, your shot will go straight. To Daichi's surprise, he made the rest of his free throws. Did you find it? If you didn't, I'm going to give you about 30 more seconds to underline and code the problem and underline and code the solution. All right. What was the problem in this story? Who had the problem, Daichi or Marley? Daichi, right? So what was the problem that Daichi was encountering? And that would be that one that he was encountering with himself, right? What did you underline? Hopefully, you underlined he had not made a single shot. That is our problem. So let's go ahead and write that. So remember, when you post your answer for number 3, I want it in a complete sentence. The problem is, and then we're including the characters, names, so that we really are being the best 3rd grade answers we can be. So the problem is Daichi is missing the basket, we could say. He's not making any shots, or you could have just said the problem is Daichi isn't making any shots. So then what was the solution? Who helped him? Who helped him? Coach Yang, right? Coach Yang noticed and came to talk to Daichi. If you adjust your feet, he said, your shot will go straight. That is the solution, right? So coach, or the solution, was that we could include Coach Yang, or we could just include what he needed to do to fix the problem, right? Was that he needed to adjust his feet. Do you agree? All right. So my problem and solution experts, box number 3, report card time. You are reading the passage, you are coming up with the problem, you are coming up with the solution, and you are posting that in the discussion post for today, okay? Capital letters, complete sentences, punctuation marks, all that good stuff. All right, good job today. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.